Dawn Neeson and Chris Akabusi here to discuss stories making headlines today. And in the Sun, the Express, the Mirror front page of the Guardian as well, King's Easter speech, Dawn.
Look, wasn't, regardless of what you think of royalty, before anyone starts having a go at me, wasn't it lovely? This is a family. You know, there's been, well, Kate's got cancer, the King's got cancer, Sarah Ferguson's been diagnosed again. So here he is, we know he's got cancer, we know he's having some form of treatment, we don't know what. There was a lot of speculation about whether he'd be out in public. And the fact that he was there, he was shaking hands, which we weren't expecting. He looked remarkably well. I think, good for him. He's inherited Mum's sense of duty, don't you think? I mean, I think he was determined to be there, and I think he was determined to be there as well for Kate, because I think Kate and William and the kids were notably absent, understandably so. But I think I thought it was lovely. Sorry if you don't like the royals, but yeah, there you go.
I think it was really heartening to see him actually looking so well.
Yeah.
And I think it was good for the crowds to see him. It's the first time we've seen him this year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think the point that's been very well made, his sense of duty, getting back on the horse, getting on and doing it. We could see him look very, very well. The crowd seemed to be very happy to be able to give their best wishes to him and the family. And, we do wish his recovery very well. We don't really know what the cancer is. I mean, that was my thought when I saw him. He looked so well. I thought, well, what sort of cancer is it? Was it very, very early stage of cancer? I don't think there's any family in the country that hasn't been touched by the finger of cancer.
Yeah.
And cancer can come at different stages. Stage 1 is a lot more milder than stage 4, obviously. But nonetheless, you could see a man getting back to, or a person, a human being, getting back to work, and that was
exactly
nice to see.
that, yeah.
Chris, the small boat situation, we've seen so many thousand already this year arriving in the country of illegal migrants here. What is the criticism now of the small boats plan?
So basically, this is really the civil servants sort of saying that no one's getting on with it. There's no focus, insufficient staffing, we don't know what we're doing, no standard operational procedures, therefore no training, no idea. And they've given this red warning to Rishi Sunak that it's failing. Well, tell us something that we didn't know. And it just begins to make a mockery of these 5 pledges that I'm giving you and you're...
We're going to have to get to a stage, Chris. I mean, you look at these numbers and they are unsustainable. There's absolutely no doubt that they're unsustainable. That we're going to have to get to the stage where we defy Europe and any other remits there are on all of this, and you just round up everybody who arrives in the country, say, you're very welcome, we're now going to put you on a plane and we're putting you in Rwanda. They can sort it out that end.
Well, I don't think that's I mean, the incoming government...
There's many, 6,000 so far this year.
Yeah, the incoming government, though, I think they're thinking about attacking it in a different way, aren't they? They're suggesting that stop them at the source, stop the gangs and the trade that's happening at source, so they don't even get to the continent, don't come into the channel, and you haven't got to deal with it. So there's, there are other ways of attacking it. I actually think that the Rwanda deal has been a red herring and the government have sunk themselves. It ain't going to happen. Everyone knows it's not going to happen. And this is part of the problem. They're saying that all of the attention, this is the civil service, all of the attention is on this Rwanda thing. It ain't happening, and therefore we're not looking at other things that should be happening. Like, what is the immigration policy that we're actually tackling?
The other problem with this is
how do you implement it?
You've got many very powerful civil servants who aren't elected, by the way. They're paid by us to do a job, who don't want it to happen.
You think that's stalling?
Yeah, I do. Well, I mean, the problem here, we've got an indecisive Prime Minister who just kicks things into the long grass. He's delayed it himself. We know there's ping-pong going on with the Rwanda deal between the House of Lords and the House of Commons. But Rishi Sunak himself said, well, look at it after Easter. Why? Just get on with it. You've got civil servants...
There's nothing they can get on with.
That's the thing. There's nothing to get on with.
But they delayed it. They delayed it. Oh, we will look at this bill after Easter. And it's like, no, get on with it now. Why are you even taking Easter? This is important. Get it sorted. And then you've got the civil servants sticking their oar in, no pun pun intended, because a lot of them don't want it to happen. They're very powerful. They're all working from home, but they're very powerful. And so it's just like nothing is happening. And I don't even know, you're talking about, you know, Labour, I don't even know what their policy is.
No, well,
the devil's in the details.
Yeah.
Where are the details?
So maybe Mr Sunak actually realises it can't be done, and that there might be an election coming towards the end of the year. And it's not going to be my problem anyway.
Well,
you know,
right.
and once Labour are in, certainly the Tories will have something to kick them about. I mean, I think with everything anyway, once Labour get in, you'll realise actually it's so much more difficult when you've got your feet under the table than when you're coupled from the sideline.
Rishi Sunak, when he was Chancellor, didn't even agree with it in any case. He thought Rwanda was a waste of time. So, and now suddenly...
That's politics for you. But the thing, Dawn, the point I'm trying to make is we cannot stop what is going on. It is just overflowing, and somebody's got to do something. And if that involves breaking the rules, somebody should have the bottle to stand up and do that and break the rules and say, you land in here, just take a step on that plane and we're going to fly you somewhere else. We don't care if it's legal or not. You're not staying in this country.
Suella Braverman was pretty much going down that route, wasn't she? And Priti Patel, they both going down that route. And
yeah, that'll be okay until they're
stopped.
blood and guts on the other side. Because, you know, actually you just don't know whether the infrastructure on the other side really can take care of an influx.
But what's that got to do with us? Well, what's that got to do with us? I mean, basically, if this was your house, right, and your front garden and back garden, and people were setting up tents in your front garden, whatever, surely you'd be saying, get off my turf.
But what would happen if you went like that and you chucked them outside? You would have knock, Mr. Policeman, Mr. Inland Security,
I
Mr.
think
somebody.
you'd have an uprising in the country in favour of what people would actually be doing. I think now the numbers are so unsustainable that people have got to say, well, in principle, I was against this, but actually we cannot keep on with this.
We can't.
Our roads can't take it, our schools can't take it, our hospitals can't take it, we can't take it.
And this is illegal migration. We've got 750,000 legal migration on top of it, which is the highest figures we've ever had. Something's got to give. People aren't getting angry about it, Eamonn. That's the thing, and no one's doing anything.
OK, what do you think of this? If you've just woken up and you've got something to say about this, gbviews@gbnews.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, this is another scandal here. More than 250 people in England are dying each week because of long waits for A&E care, Chris.
Yeah, this really is, and we can roll up that number, but every single number is a person.
Yeah.
A person that's dying, and read in the article, it's not even the people that are dying in ambulances. It's just those who are in corridors and on
waiting
trolleys.
For beds.
Exactly. And, you know, I've had this experience about when I had this bleeding nose, uncontrolled bleeding nose, and I had to be looked at. After 7 hours, the doctors came and stuck this thing up my nose, and it was so painful. In a corridor, people walking past, and, you know, there's no dignity.
No.
And I tried to start for because it's very, very painful. It's undignified. Yeah. So, OK, I'm here to tell the tale. I'd rather be here to tell the tale than be one of the person that dies on the trolley. But nonetheless, this is a crisis that's been there for a very long time. This, again, is nothing new. It's just coming to a head right now because, as your previous contributor, the Minister, Mr.
Holland,
he said there's a massive influx, a massive demand now for the services on a very creaky NHS. It is very worrying.
And junior doctors have been on strike how many times recently? 10 times?
And again, loads of viewers have emailed in saying surely that's having an impact on this as well.
Of course it will.
Yeah, and Mr. Sunak again. I mean, he's absolutely gets hammered everywhere. Last year, he said he's going to give a £1 billion pledge to this issue. Another thing he said that he can't deliver on.
Guys, talking about banning things, it's Eurovision, I think, next week.
Oh, I don't know, God knows.
There's been a call that the British representative should boycott Eurovision to show, because Israel is taking part. And Chris, you will have been down this road with sport before.
Yeah.
Should sport get involved in politics, or should it be used as part of politics? What do you think, Don?
No, definitely.
Well, this is an open letter from Queers for Palestine. Point number one, I don't even understand what queer means anymore. What does it even define? And it's a group of people, mostly lovers, it has to be said. Signing this open letter begging Ollie, what's his name? It's our Eurovision representative.
Alexander.
Yeah, who's an openly gay man, begging him not to go until Israel is banned from the competition. Fine, they're entitled to do that, no problem with that. Ollie quite rightly has responded and saying, pretty much what you have said. No, let's try and keep the two issues separate. Let's try and keep the music separate from the politics. I understand.
Russia's already been banned.
Russia's already... Now, the slight difference is Russia invaded a sovereign state. Israel were defending itself against a terrorist organisation. Now, regardless of what you think of how they're doing it, I think that is the very fine difference.
OK. Again, let's just talk more about this next time when you're back in 40 minutes' time. Chris and Dawn, for the moment, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very
We look
much.
forward to seeing you then. Right now, let's get a weather update on this bank holiday. If you're heading out and about, here's what to expect.